Good evening. This is ATN Global News at 9 p.m. First, the headlines. Wike backs Tinubu's state of emergency declaration in Rivers State. Police debunk claims of Boko Haram arrests in Lagos. Tinubu felicitates with Christians over Easter celebrations. Federal government to inject 1,900 megawatt solar power into grid. Hamas accuses Israel of using aid as weapon. Europa Conference League semi-final fixtures confirmed. Davido releases fifth studio album 5.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bets on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. On ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
They are not picking our calls. They made up their mind.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has backed President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers, saying he wanted the removal of Governor Siminalayi Fubara of the Oyo State. Wike made this known during a media party in Abuja on Friday, noting that the emergency rule was not part of his desired outcome in the ongoing political crisis. Last month, President Bola Tinubu proclaimed the state of emergency in the state, citing persistent political instability and escalating security concerns, including recent pipeline explosions. The president suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara, Deputy Governor Ngozi Odu, and all members of the House of Assembly for 6 months. He described the move as inevitably compelling based on security reports. In their place, Tinubu appointed Vice Admiral Ibas as sole administrator to oversee the state's affairs pending resolution of the crisis, a decision that has sparked widespread debate across the country. Speaking during the media party, Wike, the immediate past governor of Rivers, said he wanted the outright removal of Governor Fubara. However, he believed the president did the right thing by declaring a different form of the intervention to prevent anarchy in the state rather than outright removal. Wike also gave a condition for him to forgive Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his East-trained political godson and successor. Wike said he would let go of the wrong things Fubara has caused if he genuinely seeks forgiveness. During the interview, Wike revealed that 2 governors approached him to resolve the feud between him and Gafo and Fubara, though he didn't reveal the governors' names. Wike said he told them he was resolved to make peace with his successor. Nyesom Wike further stated that the court will determine the constitutionality of the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. The FCT minister stated that the matter is already before the courts, where the legality of the president's directive will be determined. Rivers State Commissioner of Police CP Olubenga A. Adeboju felicitates with the good people of Rivers State as they join Christians worldwide to celebrate this year's Easter celebrations. commemorating the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. CP Adeboju enjoined all Christian faithfuls to use this period to pray for the peace and progress in Rivers State and Nigeria at large. The CP reassures residents of the state of provision of adequate security measures before, during and after the celebration to ensure safety and hitch-free season. The Commissioner of Police has equally directed all area commanders, divisional police officers and tactical team commanders to deploy both operational and intelligence assets to strengthen patrols and effectively police their areas of responsibilities, including worship centers, recreational centers, highways, waterways, amongst others. Meanwhile, residents of the state have been called upon to remain supportive, calm, law-abiding, vigilant, and promptly report any acts of crime and criminality to the nearest police station or by calling the command's emergency hotlines. Edo State Governor Senator Monday Ekpebelo has paid the April salaries and pensions of civil servants and pensioners across the state. The payment, Ekpebelo said, was made in a determined bid to ease the financial burden of workers and retirees ahead of the Easter celebration. According to a statement on Friday by the Governor's Chief Press Secretary, Fred Itwa, the early payment, which comes several days before the end of the month, reflects the administration's commitment to the welfare of its workforce and senior citizens. He noted that this gesture is in line with Ekpebelo's policy of prioritizing people-centered governance and ensuring that economic challenges do not hinder citizens from celebrating key religious and cultural festivals. The statement emphasized that the state government has consistently demonstrated fiscal discipline and transparency in managing public funds, enabling the administration to meet its obligations to workers and retirees despite prevailing economic constraints across the country. The government reassured the public that it will continue to prioritize initiatives that improve the lives of the people, emphasizing that the welfare of citizens remains at the heart of Ekpebelo's leadership agenda. Imo State Police Command has announced the arrest of 3 suspected members of the indigenous people of Biafra following a raid on an alleged terror hideout located on Cameron Street, Ubahu, in the Okigwe local government area of the state. The raid, which took place in the early hours of Thursday, April 17, 2025, was carried out by the command's tactical teams in collaboration with local vigilante groups acting on credible intelligence. The operation led to a gun battle during which 2 suspects reportedly fled into the surrounding bushes while 3 others were captured. The arrested suspects were identified as Onyekaba Ikenna, Innocent 21, Ugu Ikenna 31, and Ofo Kasarachi 37. The announcement of this operation and the subsequent arrest was made by the Imo State Police Command, underscoring the commitment to tackling suspected criminal elements within the state. The successful raid marks a notable step in the ongoing efforts to maintain law and order and address security concerns in the Okigwe local government area and the wider Imo State. Further details regarding the investigation and any recovered items are expected to be disclosed by the police command. Spokesperson of the Imo State Police Command, Henry Okoye, disclosed the development while parading the suspects and recovered items at the command's headquarters in Owerri on Friday. According to Okoye, the operation led to the recovery of significant weapons and materials allegedly linked to terrorist activities. All Progressives Congress, Uzo Uwan, the local government area of Enugu State, on Friday announced the suspension of Senator Chuka Utazi for alleged anti-party activities. Utazi, a 2-time senator 2015 to 2023, who represented Enugu North Senatorial District under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, decamped from his party and joined APC in 2024. But in a letter of notification addressed to the state chairman of APC, Barrister Ugochukwu Agbala, and signed by the chairman of APC, Uzo Uwani local government area chief Chris Ajudo, the secretary Honorable Pius Deara, and APC chairman Nkologu Ward, Honorable Albert Aniebonam, the party stated that Utazi's suspension was sequel to and consequent upon a complaint and petition from the senators Nkologu Ward alleging anti-party activities. The ward accused Senator Utazi of having participated in a People's Democratic Party Enugu North Zonal Chapter meetings and endorsement of Barrister Peter Mba, the governor of Enugu State, for 2nd term in the coming 2027 election. They also accused the senator of granting interviews and engaging in open blackmail and the marketing of APC Enugu State Chapter in public, among others in first junction. The party officials further clarified on receipt of the said complaint, the local government on 8th of April 2025 set up a man disciplinary committee which notified the senator of the petition and duly invited him to appear before the disciplinary body. Ondo State Police Command has dismissed as false a report claiming that a vehicle in the convoy of the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, was responsible for the death of a 9-year-old girl in Akure on Thursday. Newsman reports that the First Lady was in Ondo State to launch the Renewed Hope Initiative Health Program and to distribute 10,000 professional kits, comprising crocs and scrubs, to midwives in the Southwest Zone. In a statement, the command spokesperson, DSP Olufuminayo Odunlami Omisanya, clarified that the claim published by an online reporter was entirely baseless and misleading. According to command spokesperson, a witness who observed the hit-and-run incident pursued the fleeing vehicle on a motorcycle immediately after the crash, which occurred in the Obaile area of Akure. The witness accounts were corroborated by several individuals at the scene, as well as by the victim's parents. The Commissioner of Police Ondo State Command was said to have personally visited the grieving family and assured them of a full and transparent investigation into the incident. Lagos State Police Command has initiated a comprehensive security deployment across the state to guarantee a safe and peaceful Easter celebration. According to a statement issued on Friday by the command spokesperson, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, the Commissioner of Police Olohundare Jimo ordered the immediate mobilization of personnel and tactical units to maintain law and order during the holiday period. The deployment includes conventional police officers, elite strike teams, and specialized tactical squads such as the Police Mobile Force, Rapid Response Squad, Counter-Terrorism Unit, Special Protection Unit, Explosive Ordnance, Disposal Squad, K9 units, and mounted troops. Special focus is being directed towards churches, entertainment, sports, recreational centers, and other high-traffic public locations expected to witness large gatherings during the Easter celebrations. Olohundare Jimo stressed the importance of interagency collaboration, noting that the police will work closely with the military, paramilitary units, and the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority to safeguard lives and property. He directed officers to conduct themselves with professionalism, remaining cautious, respectful of citizens' rights, yet resolute in the performance of their duties. The Commissioner also urged members of the public to stay alert and cooperative, encouraging them to promptly report any suspicious activity to the nearest police station for immediate intervention. Residents were reminded that any case of police misconduct should be directed to the Lagos State Command's Complaints Response Unit for appropriate handling. Police Command in Lagos State has refuted that hundreds of Boko Haram suspects were apprehended in Lagos. The command spokesperson, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, refuted these in a statement on Friday in Lagos. He said that following reports, the Commissioner of Police in the state, CP Olohundare Jimo, directed an immediate investigation into the report to ascertain the true position of the claim. Hundeyin enjoined residents to disregard and discountenance the write-ups as untrue and a figment of the imagination of the writer, which was very unfortunate and despicable and should be outrightly ignored. The image maker enjoined the media not to allow the use of their esteemed publications to incite fake news and outright falsehood that could jeopardize the peace and tranquility being enjoyed in the state. The spokesperson assured residents of their safety and the police commitment to the protection of lives and property in the state. He encouraged residents to report any suspicious activities to the nearest police station or call the control room on 080-632-99264. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has urged Nigerians to practice the spirit of giving, stressing that charitable acts attract divine reward. Obasanjo spoke on Friday in Abeokuta at the public presentation and unveiling of the project's designs on the remodeling of the Egbak Central Mosque and the construction of an Islamic center at Kobiti, Abeokuta. The former president called on all Nigerians, regardless of their religious status, to consider the project as a collective effort and contribute to its success. Similarly, the Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, represented by his deputy Noimot Salako Oyedele, described the project as a significant step by the Egba people, particularly the Egba Muslims. Abiodun, while acknowledging the role of Obasanjo in promoting religious tolerance and harmony, promised to construct the mosque's administrative block and library. AT reports that prominent Nigerians such as the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Said Abubakar, the Alake and paramount ruler of Egba land, Oba Adedotun Badebo, former Ogun State Governor Senator Ibikunle Amosun, former Sokoto State Governor Aliyu Wamakom, and others. The Sultan of Sokoto, Said Abubakar, while unveiling the project's prototype, pledged to personally engage other influential Nigerians to mobilize resources for the mosque's completion. The Alaka of Egbaland reflected on the long overdue renovation of the mosque, emphasizing the historical significance of the project and the role of stakeholders in preserving religious and cultural heritage for future generations. Kogi State Police Command said it has commenced investigation into the alleged gunmen attack on the family house of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. The police command confirmed receiving a distress call that the senator's family house in Obeiba, Ihima, Okei local government area of Kogi State was under attack. In a statement made available to journalists by the police public relations officer, SP William Aya Ovie, on Friday, the command said the investigation followed a distress call from Yakubu Ovanja, an aide to Senator Natasha, on Wednesday. The statement said the information was lodged with the divisional police officer attached to Okei Division. The statement further stated that in view of the above, the Commissioner of Police has directed the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of Criminal Investigation Department to commence immediate and discreet investigation into the alleged attack to ascertain its cause with a view to apprehending the perpetrators and bringing them to justice. Unidentified gunmen have attacked the Faruruwa community in Shanono local government area of Kano State, abducting the son of a prominent trader during a Thursday evening raid. The incident occurred around 7 p.m. when the assailants stormed the community and reportedly shot sporadically to instill fear among residents. According to a witness, Ibrahim Faruruwa, the attackers targeted Alhaji Haruna Halilu, a wealthy trader in the area, but he was not present at his shop during the attack. Confirming the incident, the spokesperson of the Kano State Police Command, Abdullahi Giwa, said the police are aware of the attack and have commenced an investigation. He assured that full details of the incident will be made available once the inquiry is concluded. Details regarding casualties or the number of abductees remain unclear as of the time of filing this report. As speculation intensifies over the possible defection of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and other political figures to the ruling All Progressive Congress, the party has issued a strong warning that switching political allegiance will not serve as protection from corruption probes. Speaking during a press conference at the party's secretariat in Kano, APC State Chairman Abdullahi Abbas made it clear that while the party is open to welcoming new members, it will not be a refuge for those trying to escape accountability. The state chapter of the party has also extended an invitation to individuals from other political parties to join its ranks. Abbas further demanded that prospective defectors who have made derogatory statements against the party's leaders, including President Bola Tinubu and his deputy, Senator Kashim Shettima, publicly apologize as a sign of remorse. He noted that the party has directed its ward chapters to open registers for new members in accordance with the party's constitution. However, Abbas clarified that new entrants, Mr. Yesom Wiki, has reiterated that the ongoing routine inspections of infrastructure projects across the FCT as a crucial measure to guarantee all jobs are executed to the highest specified standards. Addressing journalists during inspections, the minister emphasized the importance of the site visits in ensuring the quality and timely completion of projects. The minister provided updates on several key projects inspected, such as Giri District Roads project and the INEX, that are both expected to be completed by the end of May, while the Court of Appeal complex is slated for commissioning in September 2025. The minister further expressed satisfaction with the progress made on the Inner Northern Expressway bridge across the rail line in Idu district, noting the significant improvement in its condition. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has warned marketers of industrial and agrochemicals across Kebbi State against selling their products to unknown individuals. The state coordinator of NAFDAC in Kebbi, Alhaji Muyudin F. Suleiman, issued a warning while addressing chemical dealers at a one-day sensitization program held in Benin, Kebbi. The session brought together marketers of industrial and agrochemicals, fertilizers and pesticides from the 21 local government areas of the state. Suleiman stressed the importance of obtaining proper listing and certification from NAFDAC before marketing such products, noting that chemicals used in agriculture and manufacturing can pose serious risks when misused. He advised marketers to be cautious and avoid selling to unknown individuals, saying fertilizers contain dangerous components like ammonia, urea, and potassium hydroxide. The coordinator also emphasized the obligation of marketers to operate within safety standards and urged them to act responsibly in safeguarding public health and national security. Earlier during the event, the Assistant Chief Regulatory Officer Alhaji Ahmad Aliyu Aji delivered a lecture on the hazards of unregulated chemical marketing. He highlighted the importance of wearing protective gear, proper storage, and environmental safety practices when handling chemicals. You're watching the Global News on the Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Do stay tuned.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. On ATM.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATM.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You're a human
on them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATM.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has felicitated with Christians in Nigeria over this year's Easter, commemorating the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Tinubu sent in his felicitations from France, where he is needed. The president also used the Easter festivities to comment on the Nigerian economy, saying it is beginning to show good signs of recovery. He said his administration is working tirelessly to restore investor confidence, stabilize key sectors, and build an inclusive economy that serves the interests of all Nigerians. The president also expressed gratitude to Nigerians for their patience and resilience as our economy begins to show encouraging signs of recovery. He added that Easter spirits, will fill every heart and home with renewed faith in the immense possibilities ahead of the nation. And just as Christ triumphed over death, the country will triumph over every challenge it faces. The federal government has reconstituted its special committee on the campaign against social vices in secondary and tertiary institutions, appointing Professor Jerry Ugokwe as the new chairman to lead intensified efforts against cultism, drug abuse, cybercrime, and examination malpractice. Inaugurated on Friday in Abuja by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Student Engagement, Sunday Asefun, the committee is expected to chart a renewed course in addressing the growing menace of antisocial behaviors in Nigeria's education system. The former Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, had in 2024 inaugurated the initial committee, which was disbanded last week and reconstituted to reinvigorate the fight against social vices in Nigerian educational institutions. During the inauguration on Friday, Asefo emphasized the importance of the committee, citing the rising level of social vices in secondary and tertiary institutions, among others. Newly appointed officials have been urged to approach the assignment with dedication and integrity to ensure the committee's objectives are achieved. Professor Ugokwe, a scholar and diplomat with years of experience, is expected to bring fresh perspectives and leadership to the committee's work. The reconstitution and change of leadership come at a time when the country is grappling with increasing incidents of drug abuse, cultism, cybercrime, and other antisocial behaviors that threaten the fabric of Nigerian education. Former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has dismissed rumors of dumping the All Progressive Congress for the Social Democratic Party. Malami assured that he is still a member of the APC, stressing that he can't defect to the SDP in secret. In a statement signed by his media aide, Mohammed Bello Doka, the former AGF said he is, however, consulting with other platforms. The statement also said Malami remains in active politics and would make his position known when the time is right. Doka added that Malami has right to belong to any political party and to contest any position in Kebbi State. As Christians in Nigeria join others around the world to mark the 2025 Easter celebrations, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered tight security measures across the country to ensure a peaceful and hitch-free holiday. In a statement on Friday by the First Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the IGP extended warm Easter greetings to the Christian faithful, urging them to reflect on the values of hope, renewal, and sacrifice which the season represents. Egbetokun directed all commissioners of police and supervising assistant inspectors general of police, to intensify visibility policing, intelligence gathering, and extended surveillance in their jurisdiction. He also directed the strategic deployment of personnel to churches, recreational centers, highways, and other public places to forestall any security breach during the festivities. He also emphasizes the critical importance of enhanced patrol and strategic deployment of personnel to places of worship, recreation centers, major highways, and other public spaces to deter criminal activities and provide swift responses to any security challenges that may arise. He also called on Nigerians to cooperate with law enforcement agencies by providing timely and credible information to help prevent any potential threats to public safety. While urging citizens to remain vigilant, Egbetokun advised moderation in celebrations and warned against reckless driving on the highways throughout the Easter period and beyond. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, on Friday said the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum and those vying for a coalition like former Vice President Atiku Abubakar are not truthful. Wike warned that what happened in 2023, where the PDP lost the presidential election, may happen again in 2026 forum. Recently, Atiku spearheaded the move to form a coalition of opposition parties aimed at ousting President Bola Tinubu in 2027. However, the chairman of this PDP Governors Forum, Governor Seyi Makinde, insisted that they will not be a part of Atiku's coalition. While addressing a media briefing in Abuja, Wike disclosed the reason he vehemently opposed Atiku Abubakar's presidential ambition in 2023. Contrary to the claim that his anti-Atiku stand ahead of the 2023 election was because the former vice president didn't pick him as his running mate, Wike said his decision to oppose Atiku was solely based on principle. Apart from his persistent call for power rotation, Wike claimed that Atiku was not a trustworthy politician. Speaking further, Nyesom Wike reviewed why he did not support Peter Obi of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election. The former Rivers State governor said Peter Obi had no chance of winning the 2024 election. He said he explained that he is not akin to supporting social media candidates as the reason he backed Tinubu's presidency. National chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Omar Al-Iliya Damagum, has said that the All Progressive Congress is more divided than the PDP. Damagum stated this while welcoming some members of the All Progressive Congress and New Nigeria People's Party who defected to the PDP in Nguru and Bade local government areas of Yobe State. According to him, the PDP is always a formidable opposition force, noting that the party knows how to address. Reiterated that the PDP remains a strong and united brand, adding, "We are the party to beat." He maintained that the party's doors are open to those who left in the past as it prepares to build a credible force for the 2027 elections. South-South Zonal Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, under the leadership of Chief Dan Osi Obe, has issued a firm warning to Mr. Debo Ologunagba, the party's National Publicity Secretary. The committee has directed him to refrain from interfering with or discussing matters related to the party's affairs in the South Zone and its respective states. This warning follows a recent statement attributed to Olugunagba, in which he criticized Governors Pastor Umo Oino of Akwa Ibom and Elder Sharif Oberevor of Delta State for their declared support for the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress in the 2027 general elections. The committee emphasized that Olugunagba should stay away from Edo PDP and refrain from making unsolicited comments, especially during this Holy Week. In a statement signed by Zonal Publicity Secretary Prince Etim Isong, the leadership expressed concern that Mr. Olugunagba has failed to differentiate between personal opinion and officially representing the People's Democratic Party. The committee stated that such conduct renders him unfit to hold the office of National Publicity Secretary. The zonal leadership expressed frustration with what it described as Olugunagba's constant embarrassing and shameful behavior and called for him to desist immediately from making any statements related to the party in the South Zone or any of its zones. It warned that failure to comply would attract severe consequences. According to the leadership, Olugunagba's unguarded statements have contributed to an avoidable crisis within the party and are a major factor in the PDP struggles in Ondo State. His conduct has also caused friction between the party's governors forum and the nation's apex court over recent rulings concerning the office of the National Secretary of the party. The South Zonal Working Committee reiterated its position that Olugunagba is unfit to speak on matters affecting the interests of the party in the South Zone. Disrespect towards the leaders of the party in the region will not be tolerated from him or anyone else. Nigeria Governors Forum has tasked leaders in Plateau State to unite the multicultural people and residents of the state to stop the spate of senseless killings. NGF Chairman and Governor of Kwara State Abdulrahman Abdulrazak made the call during his visit to the state. Over 100 people have been killed in the last 2 weeks when bloodthirsty marauders unleashed mayhem on communities in the Bokos and Basa local government areas of Plateau State. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetukun, on Tuesday visited the state and vowed that the perpetrators of the heinous killings of scores of innocent citizens would be brought to justice. President Bola Tinubu and other Nigerians have also condemned the killings, but opposition leader Peter Obi said the people of Plateau are tired of press statements but need urgent, adequate security. Inter-Party Advisory Council has reminded the Nigerian government that citizens deserve good governance and improvement in their well-being in tandem with Section 14, Paragraph 2b of the Constitution. The Council, however, noted sadly that Nigerians are not assured of their lives. The Council called on Nigerians, especially Christians, to celebrate this year's Easter, which signifies the supernatural resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ after his crucifixion for the sins of mankind, with hope. IPAC noted that Easter is the essence of Christianity, the hope of the faithful. It enjoined Nigerians to use the joyous occasion of the victory of life over death, which Easter symbolizes, to rededicate their lives to God and imbibe Christ's virtues of love, compassion, tolerance, and sacrifice. IPAC urged the federal government to tackle insecurity head-on, adding that rampant killings of fellow compatriots by non-state actors must stop forthwith. IPAC commiserated with the families of those who lost their loved ones in the recent attacks in Plateau and Benue State in particularly and other parts of the country. Furthermore, IPAC urged the National Assembly to expedite action on the reservation of special seats for women in Parliament to try electoral offenders and their sponsors, adding that the need for electoral integrity cannot be overemphasized in the quest for a strong, viral, united, progressive, equitable, and decent democratic nation. Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has appealed for a presidential directive to security agencies to ensure effective security for pastoralist communities across the country. The National Secretary General of Magban, Alhaji Bello Gotomo, made the appeal in a statement on Friday in Abuja. He also called on the federal government to end all forms of alleged discriminatory practice against pastoralists in the country. Gotomo emphasized the need for the Office of the National Security Advisor to the President to implement concrete measures to address the alleged ethnic profiling, stigmatization, and scapegoating of pastoralists. He decried the alleged unlawful arrest, inhuman treatment, and profiling of some pastoralists at Opere Market in Kaba local government of Kogi State. Nigerian Christians have joined their counterparts across the world to celebrate the Good Friday. Good Friday commemorates the crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ, who was arrested on a Friday ages ago and then placed on the cross and left to die. Good Friday is the Friday before Easter Day. Every year, Christians observe the remembrance of the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Beginning from early days of Christianity, Christian believers observe Good Friday as a day of sorrow, day of repentance and fasting. This year's Good Friday falls on April 18, and it is 2 days before Easter Sunday. Although this day signifies sorrow for Christians, the weekend of Good Friday is considered as the most important weekend in the history of Christianity. Worshippers believe that it is a day when Jesus Christ died for their sins, was buried, and rose up on the third day as conqueror of sin and death. Most Christians celebrate Good Friday by attending special church or prayer services. Others practice fasting and may choose not to eat any red meat as a remembrance of the blood Jesus shed on the cross. Some spend time with family participating in Easter activities or take on a somber attitude and maintain a quiet atmosphere in their homes with little to no entertainment or extracurricular activities. And now to some business news. Federal government has reviewed plans to construct modular solar power plants with a combined capacity of 1,900 megawatts for the 19 northern states as part of efforts to boost renewable energy adoption and expand the national grid. It also disclosed its target to generate and distribute about 8,000 megawatts of electricity before the end of President Bola Tinubu's first term in office in 2027. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, announced this during the 6th edition of the 2025 Ministerial Press Briefing Series held in Abuja. Adelabu said each solar power station will produce approximately 100 megawatts of electricity, enabling the states to become more energy independent and reducing the reliance on the national grid. He also stated that the government is pursuing private investment to help expand the grid and improve generation. ATN recalls that the northern region recently faced challenges with a stable power supply due to a surge in vandalism and theft of critical transmission infrastructure. Last October, vandals destroyed the important 330 kV Shiroro Kaduna power line that supplies the states of Kano and Kaduna and another line that supplies Bauchi, Gombe, and other parts of the northeast. This incident led to a month-long blackout in 17 out of 19 northern states in the country. But speaking at the event to update the public and highlight achievements recorded so far, the minister emphasized that with Nigeria's abundant sunshine, there is no reason the country cannot achieve utility-scale solar power generation. Central Bank of Nigeria has one licensed bureau de change operators and financial institutions in the country against violating its anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing framework. The Apex Bank issued this warning in a circular signed by its Director of Compliance Department, Ammonia Oposunju. CBN vowed to impose sanctions on BDC operators who fail to adhere to its regulatory framework. Similarly, CBN also urged all financial institutions in Nigeria to tighten compliance with both domestic and international sanction lists, including the United Nations Consolidated Sanctions List and the Nigeria Sanctions List, in line with the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 and others. Recall that on February 27, 2024, the financial regulator approved the sale of foreign exchange to BDC operators, reversing its decision to halt for FX sales to the BDCs in 2021. Meanwhile, on February 6, 2025, the Apex Bank introduced new regulations limiting BDC operators to purchasing a maximum of $25,000 per week from a single bank. Securities and Exchange Commission has declared that Crypto Bridge Exchange, also known as CBEX, is not registered to operate as a digital assets exchange in Nigeria, warning the investing public against transacting with the platform. In a circular released by the Commission on Thursday, it stated that CBEX, operating under various aliases such as ST Technologies, International Limited, and Smart Treasure and Super Technology, had been engaging in unauthorized investment solicitation of offering implausibly high returns to unsuspecting Nigerians. The SEC stated that neither CBEX nor its affiliates were granted registration by the Commission at any time to operate as a digital assets exchange, solicit investments from the public, or perform any other function within the Nigerian capital market. ATN reported that CBEX is the digital trading asset platform that gives investors a 100% return on investment in 30 days. However, its operational model now comes under scrutiny as allegations of fraud and deceptive practices emerge. The platform is said to display falsified withdrawal records to mask the difficulties users encounter when trying to access their phones. According to the capital market regulator, preliminary investigations revealed that CBEX carried out promotional activities aimed at creating a false impression of legitimacy. The platform reportedly lured investors with the promise of guaranteed high returns, failed to honor withdrawal requests, and has since shut down its physical offices amid rising complaints. The Commission noted that pursuant to Section 196 of the Investments and Securities Act 2025, it would collaborate with relevant law enforcement agencies to take enforcement actions against CBEX, its affiliates, and promoters. China sounded defiant on Friday over new tariffs rolled out by the Donald Trump administration against it, vowing never to be cowed by the policy of the American government. China, which remains the second largest economy in the world, boasted that it has what it takes to retaliate the United States of America on every economic and financial policy it rolls out against the Asian country, what with over 1.4 billion people. The Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Don Hai-yu, made claims while addressing a world press conference in Abuja in response to actions so far undertaken by the Donald Trump administration against China in recent weeks. Ambassador Yu sounded positive over the new tariff imposed on China by the US, claiming that it provides a better opportunity for China to deepen its cooperation with Nigeria, in particular, and Africa in general. While urging the world to reject Trump's new tariffs, the Chinese ambassador vowed that his country would never bow to the US, but would take necessary retaliatory measures to counter its provocative policy. The IMF warns that US tariffs could slash global growth by 1.5% in 2025. WTO Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala adds that trade volumes may shrink by 1%, with developing nations hit the hardest. Starvation as a weapon of war a day after Israel's defense of committing a war crime. Hamas said Israel is depriving its innocent civilians of basic, including food, medicine, water, and fuel, for the 7th consecutive week. Hamas renews its calls for the international community to take action to stop the starvation and blockade imposed on the Gaza Strip. In March 2024, the United Nations International Court of Justice ruled Israel must ensure the delivery of essential aid, including food, water, fuel, and medical supplies into Gaza. Israel has repeatedly defied the binding order, claiming that Hamas misuses aid. Texas Department of State Health Services on Friday reported 597 measles cases in the state since late January, an increase of 36 since the update on Tuesday. According to the department, the outbreak is primarily in West Texas. It added that 4% or at least 30 of the confirmed cases are estimated to be actively infectious since their rash onset date was less than a week ago. The department earlier this week reported